This podcast is brought to you by Onnit. Go to Onnit.com and look at the great selection of supplements. If you find something you like, press in code Joey and get 10% off delivered right to your house. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's Wednesday, May the 25th. The joint is brought to you by Stamps.com, one of my fucking favorites. When you're running a small business, listen, every second counts. So why are you still taking time out of your day to go to the post office when you could be using Stamps.com instead? Make mailing and shipping quick, easy, and cost-effective with Stamps.com. My wife and I have been with Stamps.com for close to 10 years. It is easy peasy. You put it on the scale, you measure it, you put the stamp on, you put it in your mailbox, you raise that little fucking flag, and when Papa comes by, he picks it up and takes it. Stamps.com gives you access to all the post office and UPS shipping services you need right now from your computer. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, up to 30% of USPS rates and over 80% of UPS. All you need is a regular computer and a printer. No special supplies, no special equipment, and you'll be up and running in minutes. Sending packages, letters, all over the world. Wherever the fuck you want to send them. So stop wasting time and start saving money with Stamps.com to mail and ship. Sign up with promo code Joey for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage on a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, enter code Joey, Joey. It's that easy. Stamps.com. Tremendous. The joint is also brought to you by CBD Lion. When it comes to CBD, listen, there ain't nobody better than the Lion. How do I know? It's a full spectrum CBD, and they cover you from every dynamic. Kinesiology tape, gummies, they got hemp reefer, they got cream, they got kinesiology tape, they got bath balls. Listen, my cat is still fucking alive because of CBD Lion's animal CBD. So get your shit together, cocksuckers. Go to CBDLion.com, read and understand and listen and learn. CBD can help you on a daily, and CBD.com, CBD Lion's got the answer for you. So do me a favor, go to CBD Lion, press in code Joey, start with some tincture, maybe some gummy bears. The Delta 9s are the fucking kill for, and when you get them now, you get a 20% discount. It's gonna be a lot cheaper than you get them at your local health food store. So, CBDLion.com, press in code Joey. Let's get this party started, Mike. It's fucking Wednesday, Jack.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's a Wednesday. I think it's the 25th. I have no fucking idea anymore. I'm losing time of this track of time lately. But it's a beautiful day to be alive. Thank you very much for enjoying the Chaz podcast. It was fucking great having him come to your house with his son Dante, Mike, me. It was fucking great. It was really awesome, guys. It was a great experience. I've been speaking to him for a while, and we finally put it together. I'm going to go on his podcast in June. He starts back up. We're going to do like 2 episodes. So that's where we're at. You know, it's great to have somebody like that you could, you know, learn from for a little while. That guy's seen it all. That guy struggled. That guy, you know. It's funny. Somebody reminded me of one of his early movies, and now I got to fucking watch it because it's one of my favorite movies, The Last Motherfucking Dragon. with
That's my shit right there.
do you like that too? I love that movie. Bruce Lee, whatever. Bruce Leroy. Bruce Leroy and the Shogun of Harlem and shit. That's a great fucking movie. I gotta see it again. I saw that in the movie theater. That's how old Uncle Joe.
All over the body.
Oh shit! Fucking Vanity's in it with her non-acting ass. Vanity, Mike Clark, Mike Starr. Fuck, a lot of people in that goddamn movie. In fact, I saw that kid my first night in L.A. I walked into fucking the Comedy Store, and I saw him talking to Eddie Griffin, the star of that movie, Bruce Leroy. I almost fucking died. But anyway, with all that aside, today we have a guest, Ricky Williams. I don't know if you remember him from the Miami Dolphins. Great guy. We had to do a Zoom. He's in L.A., I'm in Jersey, but it was pretty interesting. It got me thinking because I didn't take care of myself till, like, as a human being. Like, I didn't know what was, listen, we don't know what the fuck's going on. You know, you eat, you go to the gym, you fucking sleep, and every week somebody talks to you about carbs, this. I didn't know what was going on, but I didn't start taking care of myself mentally till I was like 31 years old. When I started, I don't know, when I got out of fucking jail, I had some doubts about myself and whatnot. Those 2 years that I had from like 89 to 91, looking back on those years, I fucking struggled a lot. I mean, once I got on stage, that took half the fucking, you know, like when you want to do something and you don't do it. With comedy, I wanted to do it so bad, but I didn't have the balls to do it. So by the time I got to do it, it was such a weight off my fucking shoulders. And I saw where all this shit that I was going through was coming from because I would not go on stage for some reason or another. And if I sit down and really talk to you guys about what made me go on stage, it was clarity. Because I wasn't clear. Like I wasn't, I wanted to be a stand-up. I didn't have my goals situated. I wanted to be a stand-up comic. That was it. I didn't have what level, what degree. I didn't know what I wanted to get into. But the defining moment for me was when I was lost. I was lost as a human being, man. And I don't know, after prison, after I got married and separated, that separation in 91, really, it just fucked with my head, guys. It just made me look in for the first time ever. And I had seen the things I'd done. I had remembered the kidnapping and all that shit. And I figured, you know, this is maybe a religious matter. So I looked at my religious fucking life and I said, oh shit. When I got into that altercation with Sister Hyacinth in the 5th grade, I got thrown out and I never made my confirmation. And my confirmation is basically the Holy Spirit. For you non-Catholics and whatever the fuck you are. Yes, I'm a Catholic geek, so what did I do at the age of fucking 31 after I made my fucking, I got on stage? I went for my confirmation. Oh, I did it before I went on stage. Yeah, I did it before I went on stage. I went for my confirmation. And that entered the spirit in me. But guess what? I didn't feel dick. If he entered me, he had a little dick. I didn't feel nothing. I was still a little bit less lost. And my brother, my friend, a dear friend of mine that took care of me, his name was Martinelli. That was his last name. He was working at a kitchen at Naropa Institute in Boulder. And I went over to bullshit with him one day to get a fucking free meal because I was a comic and I was broke. He would tell me, come by, get a free lunch. And, you know, it was a vegan place, but I still went in there, ate 7-grain bread and, you know, all that shit because it's free. You got to eat what the fuck is free, you know. So I looked at one of the catalogs from the school while I was sitting in his restaurant at a table, and they had some pretty interesting courses, man. And I went to see a speaker there. That was my first experience there. I went to see a speaker. I forget what the guy's name is. If I showed you his picture, you know, he's like a fucking well-known. I went to see 2 guys there, but this was the first one. And it was kind of hippie-ish. I didn't think I belonged there, but the dude was speaking my type of shit. He was talking about spirituality and how you have to connect and all this shit. And I was lost, man. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this dude's talking about. I smoke reefer. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So I signed up for a walking meditation class, and they taught me how to breathe. It was Monday nights. I'll never forget this. And I would go there. You got to take your shoes at the door. You got to like fucking do something around the thing. And then you would have to have a thought and walk around. I never forgot this stuff, guys. I thought it was so interesting to me. And I did it for a couple of weeks, and it got me by. And you know what? It got me over the hump. And then I didn't look back into that ever again. Like, I just go, oh, I'm cooking with gas now. I don't really have to take care of myself. Yeah, we all do this shit, you know. Oh, if once I hit 200 pounds, you know, and then we hit 200, we don't go back to the gym. Once you get your blue belt, you don't go back to jiu-jitsu. You know, there's so many fucking things that. So from 92 to 95, it was to get my head back. You know, it was the first time ever I felt kind of weird in the mornings. And what I was going through last year when I moved here was this. I kept telling people, it feels like when I got divorced. I was lost. I didn't have an anchor. And man, when you don't have an anchor and you're fucking lost and you just get up and like I had, at that time, yeah, I was fucking into, you know, writing stuff down, like my schedule. And I was doing everything I could to take care of myself that way. But the mind was where, and I always had reefer. But the problem with the reefer was that I was doing cocaine. And that, the reefer nothing works when you're doing cocaine. Nothing works. But that's what I got into. And then when I got into comedy, I said to myself, you know what? I can't even think about the spiritual world anymore because I'm going broke. I'm going broke. I got to get on the road. I got to do shit. So then you go on the road and I committed to cocaine. I said, fuck it. I'm not going to go with this shit feeling wounded. I'm just going to do cocaine till whatever. And I never even looked at myself again till I was 44 years old. And that's when, you know, I had to go to Weight Watchers. I had to, you know, and I never really spoke to anybody. But that's when I realized all the things that go together for you to do your job the right way. You know, last year I wasn't doing my job, and I'm still not doing my job the right way because I'm not 100% yet. But I'm getting there every day, and I do the same shit every day to take care of myself, my mind. I don't put no pressure on myself. I journal. I do a lot of fucking things, but the reefer helps. You know, when I was in L.A., what I was doing on the church was not the way you smoke reefer. Guys, we were savages on that church, and everybody around us was savages. It's just the way it was. That's not the proper way to smoke reefer, you know? And I found that out when I got here, when I had to chase the fucking dragon all day. And now I smoke before I go to the gym, maybe before Mike comes. And then at night is when I need it. I go out in the front of my house and I smoke my little fucking joint. I look at the trees and the mountains and I hear the deer running around. And that's my peace of mind right there. You need peace of mind every day. And you know, the pandemic was the best thing that happened because some people got to look at their lives for the first time. But again, after the pandemic blew over and they switched jobs and whatever, they stopped looking after your life. You got to look after your life. It's an everyday check-in. It's an everyday check-in with yourself. You know, when you get older, you're like, fuck, my ankle hurts, my ear hurts. Last week I had 15 pains. If you come to me in the morning and go, Joey, what do you feel? You know, my knee hurts, my ankle, you know, all that shit. But so is the insides of you. So are your insides. They're rough. You got to take care of them. I'm very happy that I signed up with BetterHelp and spoke to them about therapy. And I would never do this before. But now, ever since all this shit last year, I tell you what, man, I check up on myself more than ever. I'm very happy I walked away from comedy for a while to get my life and my head together and to just see what the fuck had happened. I needed to see bro, when you're in it, you're in it. You think when these guys, I read about these musical tours. Guns N' Roses did like a fucking 8-year tour. You know, when you do that, you ever see the Motley Crue movie when he describes touring? Can you imagine doing that? And I'm exaggerating with Guns N' Roses, 8 years, but all those guys. Motley went on a huge 2-year fucking, you know, all these bands went on these huge. When you come back from that, you're a different person, guys. You've forgotten everything. You're a different person. You've just been in a fantasy for 2 fucking years. On a bus, jet planes, going to London, hanging out with Lemmy, Ozzy. You don't even know what's what. You don't even know who the fuck you are. And that's why when I got back here, I was like, you know what, man, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to take a breather. And I'll tell you what, I'm not 150%, but I'm a lot better than what I was. And I'm consistent with it, and I'm happy. For right now, it's working. So if it ain't broke it, don't fix it, cocksuckers. Listen, it was a pleasure to have this guy on the show. We had a great fucking talk. Enjoy it, cocksuckers. Ricky Williams.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, little brother?
What's going on?
Welcome to Uncle Joey's joint. What's happening, Mr. Williams?
I'm just hanging out.
You looking good? What's going on in your world?
What's going on? A lot of stuff. A lot of hustling. A lot of.
You teach yoga today?
I did not teach you. I did a little bit of yoga, but I did
a
not
little
teach
bit of
you
yoga too, my man. So
Yeah.
I'm taking your lead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great
Yep.
to have you on. Big fan, big believer in what you're doing now. Wanted to talk to you for years now.
Yeah.
You're one of my guys that, I'm falling into your web slowly but slowly. I've been in acupuncture for 15 years,
Wow.
because
Yeah.
I was 418 and I wanted circulation and I used it for a cocaine addiction, and it really worked. I mean, no rehab, no hugs, no crying, none of that shit. She just stuck me with needles and she would put an earring on me every week, like an acupuncture thing, because that's an addiction thing.
Yeah.
And I would fucking pop it. I would leave there and go do coke. I did that for about a year, and I got sick and tired of popping the earring, and I said, fuck it, Dr. Amy, you got me. So I moved to Jersey now, and I got a great acupuncturist, a Japanese-Italian lady.
Oh, wow. The Japanese are very precise, They're very good at what they do. So, yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, just that whole way of looking at the body and understanding health is, to me, it saved my life.
Saved my life, too. Well, I got one foot in the grave, one a banana peel, but I'm pushing every day, Mr. Williams.
Amen to that.
And we also have another thing in common, which I'm very happy you went public with, and that was social anxiety. I'm a stand-up comic, Ricky.
Yeah.
I go out, I do shows, you talk to people afterward. In the last 4 years, like from 2016 to 21 to the pandemic, I was starting to get social anxiety.
Yeah.
When there'd be too many people. And I've been doing this all my life, cracking jokes. I always have 1,000 people around you cracking jokes, but this was something different. It was painful.
Yeah.
It was starting to get painful. I didn't, the people who came to the shows probably thought that I just didn't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't hold the focus. How did you find out you had it? How did you find out you had it?
Well, I mean, the whole thing of anxiety is you feel it, something that felt comfortable. You notice, something doesn't feel right here. And, as a football player, as a guy, I just tried to push through it and say, like, I just got to push through it. But I got to the point where I realized, maybe this is trying to tell me something, and I think, at least for me as a kid, I was always looking outside to see what I had to do or what I had to be to get acceptance from other people. And that worked all the way up to being a professional athlete. And then I started to realize I actually needed to accept and love myself. And I realized chasing other people's approval put me in a place where I didn't even know who I was. And so I needed to take some time off and be by myself and get to know myself. And as soon as I did that, the anxiety, 95% of it disappeared because I knew who I was and I started making choices based on what felt good to me, not what I had to force myself to do in order to get other people's approval.
That's a beautiful thing because that's how I feel a lot.
Yeah.
Right now I'm dealing with the stand-up comedy thing and I want to go back to it, but I want to go back to it on my terms.
Yeah. That's what happened. That's what happened with me. That's exactly what happened with me. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. Even at my terms, I don't think it's going to stick around long. I just don't, I don't know. Sometimes I did it. My wife, we had a child when I was 50, and that really turned, I wanted to find myself. When you see your child, as your child is growing, you learn a lot about yourself from that child.
Yeah.
At least I did. I would look at that, and then I would compare myself. Like, man, at 8 years old, I was running numbers for a bookmaker. My daughter doesn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah.
She has no resume, whatever. And that helped. But I think that once I got to see my child and I started finding little things out about myself, I wanted to explore those things too and see what was going on.
Yeah.
And last week I was outside. I had a comedy show Thursday night, and I was outside with a bunch of kids and moms and just talking shit, and the kids are running around. All of a sudden, I got to get in my car to go do comedy. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I felt awful, because it's sometimes I think we do, it's like going to college. It's like picking a major when you're 18. You don't know shit about fucking life when you're 18. but your parents was an attorney. Yeah, I'm gonna go to. And after 2 years, you're like, this ain't me. I just want to sell fruit.
Yeah.
I just want to sell apples and sell flowers on the fucking corner.
Yeah.
You know, and that's. But you get put into that pressure, and then the marriage, you know, the college sweetheart, and all of a sudden you're out of college, kid, and it's just you have to like for me. Last thing I remember, Ricky, was 1993.
You know what? I know exactly what you mean because I was there, and that's when I woke up and I said, you know, there's got to be a different way to live my life. And so I just said, fuck it. I'm going to do me and see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to pretending. But I said, I want to at least try being myself and see how it goes. And it just became addictive. I started to enjoy everything, even the stuff that I used to hate. I started to enjoy because it was about the experience and what I could learn about myself. It wasn't about, you know, checking some box or doing something again to get other people's approval.
It's a beautiful thing, man. And then how do you tie in? Because listen, I was a fucking geek, Mr. Williams, growing up. I was a karate dude. I bowed. I thought Bruce Lee was fucking God, you know. And then, like, I was a Catholic. I saw people getting high, and I didn't like it when I was a kid. But I knew there was nothing wrong with reefer. Even as a kid, I'm like, that just makes them giggle.
Yeah.
And I'd see my godfather do it and my mother do it, but I wasn't allowed to talk on the street what I saw in my house.
Yeah.
But if you came up to me and you were like, you know, I'm thinking of smoking pot, I'd say, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because it just makes you giggle. I look at my godfather. He just sits on the couch and giggles like a fucking idiot. You know, it doesn't really affect him like alcohol. My mother had a bar. I don't drink.
Yeah.
I saw the effects of alcohol. You ever been around somebody who's drinking? I can't handle it.
I can't do it either.
That's when my social goes right the fuck up. I don't understand it. You know, like when I go to a bar, I get anxiety. Why? Because I don't fucking drink.
Yeah.
I want to smoke 10 joints, and I can't sit at the bar and talk to. It's just a clash. So I think that's what really, like, when I got back, when I moved here, after, you know, I moved here in August of 2020, I was like, wow, I don't even know who the fuck I am. I moved back to New Jersey where it all started, and I didn't know who I was anymore. People coming up to me saying they want to take a picture with me. Why? I went to fucking prison. There's a doctor out there that saved a little fucking kid. Nobody wants to take a picture with that fucking dude. Yeah. So I didn't understand all these things. And all of them gave me anxiety. Like it just, and now I switch medications. I had a bad bout with Xanax. I switch medications. I go to a doctor. And it's under control, man. Yeah. The gym, acupuncture, a little reefer. See, the edibles were killing me. I think the edibles, I'm dropping 1,500 milligrams of that devil. So
goodness gracious.
Yeah, I got a big tolerance, you know. So it just, I think that added to the anxiety. That's a little bit of fuel. Yeah, for sure. You know, it's a process to me. Like, you know, when I started really dealing with my social anxiety, I realized it was two things. It was one, it was changing my internal habits of thinking. You know, it was because that's the main thing. When people say mental health, to me, what mental means is they're talking about what's on the inside. Right. And I think, at least for me, the time I was born, I wasn't really worried so much about what was on the inside. I was so worried about what I had to do externally. And so when I finally started to turn inside, and this is what cannabis really helped me do. You know, that's what happens when we smoke. It makes us more aware of what's going on the inside. And for a lot of people, if we haven't really been paying attention, it's a lot. You know, it's that feeling when you haven't cleaned something for a long time. You kept the garage, you keep putting it off. And then finally that one day you say, okay, I'm going to go attack the garage. And then you step in and you're like, whoa, it's a lot. Okay. I think that's when people get paranoid or they get anxious when they smoke. It's because it's too much, right? And what I realize is that the aim is you have to love and know who you are on the inside. But there's a lot of stuff we've been piling in there, and so go slow is what I tell people. And having someone, it doesn't have to be a therapist, but just having someone you trust who you can really talk to, because once you become more aware of the stuff on the inside, it can't just stay there. It actually has to move. And so having someone, again, doesn't have to be a therapist, but having someone you trust who you can actually talk to, who's not going to judge you, that's the process, is get in touch with what's going on the inside and find someone you can talk to about it. And then it starts to move and you start to see it. And then it's not so scary because it's buried. It's out in the front, so you can actually do something with it. And did you? I speak to a therapist still once a week, just to keep everything balanced. I got my wife. I can tell her whatever the fuck I want. She's cool with me like that. So,
but this is life, though. This is life. To me,
this is life.
Like we pretend and we've been taught it's not, but this is life. And if you have like a wife that you can tell anyone, if you have any person in your life that you can talk to about anything, to me, that's the most important medicine you can have in life. Is just at least one person that has your back, that you can tell them anything and they're gonna love you through it. To me, as soon as I had that, half of my anxiety disappeared. You know, because I think as we're social beings and we need connection, but even we have a lot of friends, that's a superficial connection. You know, as social beings, we need a deep connection with someone, and a deep connection means someone who's seen your ass, you know, someone who's seen all of you and they still love you. When you have that, like, I think you can take on anything in the world.
Dog, my wife smelled my feet. She loves me, dog.
Yeah, it's real. I think it's
that
this
fungi toenail cheesy shit. That's not good. So if she stuck around for 22 years, I could tell her anything.
Yeah, you're doing something right.
No, I dig what you're saying, and I dig, you know, when you first retired, you know, I was listening to you, and I remember having conversations with Rogan about you on planes. We would just talk about you, and I'm like, you know, I go, you know what probably happened, man? Sometimes I think marijuana helps you. You know, the great Bill Hicks had a joke, and I love this joke. He said, marijuana don't make you lazy. It just makes you realize that what you're going to do ain't worth getting up.
Amen to that.
Motherfucking
100%.
joke is tremendous.
That's it.
And the same thing. Sometimes you smoke a joint, you're like, whenever I got a problem, you know, before I started talking to therapy, I would just smoke a joint and go for a walk. That's the answer. For me, that's what worked. A little walk. I need material. I smoke a little bit, go for a walk.
It's been working for thousands of years. That's, you know, if we look at our history, we were hunters and gatherers. We were nomads. And so when we got to a place and all of the food and all of the water and everything dried up, we smoked one and we started walking, right? And we found a new place to settle and build. It's ancient. It's ancient medicine. It's real.
You like that it's legalized now? I know you were always going after it. That was one of your main things, like Cypress Hill.
Well, I think the main thing is you look at all the people, not only the people that are still in prison, but the people that have served time, the people who's ruined their life, who've lost their jobs, all of the people that have been punished because this plan has been illegal. That's my biggest gripe is people are. I mean, we say in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Like, if that's not what cannabis is about, then I mean, what are we doing? So to me, to be Americans and to say people can't consume a plant to help them, it helps them feel better, that's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's un-American.
I also feel a lot better since I've been doing CBD every day.
Yeah.
I'm sponsored by a great company, and they sent me a full spectrum, and, you know, I do 2 times a day. I hit that, and my life's been a little bit more slower.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more tranquil. You know, I can feel it. I hate saying those words. People are like, Joy, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's a little bit more tranquil. At night, you know, I had to learn to reissue my sleep again, and I think that helped me out also. You know, I gave up on, you know, my tolerance is so high. I got to smoke like 35% weed to get high. But now I got a system. I just smoke in the morning, and I smoke at night, and I'm good. When I would be Snoop Dogg and smoke all day, it wouldn't really work for me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work for me, you know?
Yeah.
And this is after, like I said, I've been smoking since I was 13, and I hit it. For 2 or 3 years, I was ashamed to smoke, Mr. Williams. I'll tell you why, because I was a Catholic. Yeah. But whatever I was feeling, that shit I had at that age, because in the 70s, nobody spoke about anxiety. It disappeared whenever I smoked pot. And after my mother died, I really dove into marijuana. That was my savior to keep my head in chill. And then I just came to terms that this is something I'm going to do the rest of my life.
Yeah.
This is something that I know. It keeps my powder dry.
Yeah.
Like that dude Treat Williams said in some fucking movie I was watching. He kept saying, it keeps my powder dry.
Yeah. That's important. You know?
It is very important.
Yeah. Life is short. And if we, you know, our powder's wet too much, you know, we waste time.
Well, it takes you under, and it doesn't let you grow and see life for what it is. When you have, it's like acupuncture. You have a blockage. You have a fucking blockage in one of your, you know, the
meridians.
Yeah. There's a blockage. You got to
Yeah.
open up that blockage.
Yeah.
And we have blockages all over our body when we wake up in the morning. And throughout the day, we have different things, but still, we have our breathing, our yoga, walking on the grass with no feet on to connect to the earth. We have so many things. Like my pool opens up this weekend, and I'm so excited because I could walk on the grass barefoot.
So how does it feel? How does it feel when you're around your like old friends and you start talking like this? Like, do they look at you like you're crazy? Do you not talk about this stuff, or like how do you deal with that?
Whenever my friends call me, the Jersey ones, the fucking the knuckleheads that I love till the end of time.
Yeah.
Because California, I went to Colorado first. I was in motherfucking Boulder for 12 years. And
Okay, so you got
You
it
learn
there.
a lot in Boulder. I went to the Naropa Institute, and talked to those guys. I learned how to meditate. I was always looking for an answer. I've always been looking for what makes you feel good, spiritually and mentally. I'm a Cuban dude, so I got Santeria.
Yeah.
Part of Santeria is the spiritual life, the people who look over you, the people that you pray for, that you light a candle for on Mondays, that they're your people who watch you. So I always understood all these things about life. I went to Boulder, I learned a lot there, and then you go to Cali and you talk to people who are smarter than you, and they really open your eyes to a lot of things that make sense. I'm so rooted in Catholicism and my Santeria roots from Cuba, but at heart, I'm a Buddhist. I really believe the whole thing. I read a lot of the readings. I don't even know why I put the book after the move, but I really always have thought of that Buddhist lifestyle. Karma, what you put in, you get out. All those things, they've always made sense to me. So I've always been in search of. And, at about, I'm 10 months from being 60, and I'll tell you what has always worked for me. If I got to say what has worked for me, it has been my marijuana use. It kept my powder dry all those years, and then when I got locked up, I couldn't smoke for those 18 months or whatever. And I consider that a big help at that time. When I got locked up, I needed to absorb what the fuck was really happening. If not, I would be back out there doing the same shit I was doing, Ricky Williams.
Oh, I hear you.
So you have to, you have to clean everything out and fucking absorb what's really happening. I'm getting punished for something I fucking did. This isn't a fucking joke. This isn't a fucking joke anymore, okay? I got people at home waiting for me. I got people I disappointed. It's fucking time. But then I got out of jail and I started doing the same shit again. And then I realized I hadn't made my confirmation in 91, right before I got into comedy. And that's when I went to the Naropa Institute. And I joined up, and 2 months later I got into comedy, and that's where a sort of a peace came. There was a peace, but there were still skeletons that had to be taken care of. So since that time to now, I tell people all the time, you got to check on your skeletons from time to time, because when those motherfuckers come out and check on you, it's not good. So check
It's too
on them
late.
first.
It's too late if they're checking on you. It's too late. Yeah.
So you have a medical marijuana company now?
I do. I have a medical marijuana and I have a recreational marijuana company. So my medical marijuana company is called Real Wellness. And it's really, when I started consuming cannabis, I started learning about other herbs and realized, that herbs are a much more humane, safer way to go to take care of our body than pharmaceuticals. And then my recreational cannabis company is called Heisman, Highsman. And it's not about a trophy. It's about having these kinds of conversations and talking about how getting high or consuming cannabis actually helps us find true happiness and achieve our goals, meaningful goals. Because for me, I was chasing external goals and I reached them, but they weren't meaningful. I started consuming cannabis, getting more in touch with my internal goals. And as I've pursued and reached those, it's been much more fulfilling.
And it's funny, you asked me before what happens when I talk to my friends about this. Whenever my friends call me and then a pinch, I refer, acupuncture. I refer maybe a little reefer, maybe a little writing. I think that they look at me and they think I'm fucking crazy. I'm a big journaler. If you don't have something on paper, you really can't see what your situation is. How many nights have I gone upstairs and gone to sleep and this one fucking hang in the nail will not let you fall asleep? And then you toss and turn all night. When that shit happens to me, all bets are off. I come downstairs, I open the notebook. Let's talk about what the fuck is bothering me. Mr. Williams came over and took 2 joints instead of 1. You know, what am I going to do about this? Do I have to call this motherfucker and tell him, come on, Ricky, you took 2 joints instead of 1? Those little, and that's me, but that's who I am. I get hung up on those little things. You know, when you smoke pot, it makes you look within. So when I go to an audition, you start looking within. And it's dangerous because you're going to get the truth.
Yeah.
When you do stand-up and you tape it, your performance, and you take it back to your room and you do a little reefer and then you listen to it, because I don't want to watch me, but I'll listen to like pivotal jokes just to see if I'm saying them right. Jesus Christ, it cleans house. For me, reefer has been a spiritual confession. That's how I call my consumption of reefer. You know, there's recreational reefer for me, and then there's the reefer for my mind. I smoke it. I take a walk around the park. I sit down on the bench. I breathe a little bit. You know, I focus on my third eye. You know, just little things like that.
This is beautiful, man. This is beautiful. 2 men having this conversation, and I hope people listen. I hope people listening are getting curious about what the hell we're talking about. You know, because it's real. I mean, these little moments of when we can like reclaim a sense of peace and like balance ourselves, like everything lines up. See, I think enlightenment. I think we've all experienced glimpses of enlightenment. You know, and I think when they talk about the Buddha becoming enlightened, he was just able to hold it more consistently. But we all have had those glimpses where everything just feels like, you know, those times you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, you know, everything's going well. That's enlightenment. It's just how can we keep it going? How can we make it more consistent?
Now, where is your marijuana company located? California, obviously.
We're based in California, but we're also in Oregon, and we're in conversations right now with, you know, several other states. So we're, you know, it's our it's our intention to become a national brand and really get this type of conversation going on, you know, not even only throughout the country, but really throughout the world. Because, you know, like you said, it's like reefer, you know, it's medicine. And I think people used to talk about medicinal marijuana and still people would laugh. But when you see 2 people who are using it this way and sharing their experiences, you know, and obviously people are interested enough in us to be listening to this. So I think this is wonderful.
I think this is wonderful. I'd like to offer you, whenever you want to come on, you're always welcome. If you want to promote anything, talk about anything, any new enlightenments that you have.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me ask you a couple questions. I'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that misses football at any level?
There's not a part of me that misses football, but there is something I miss about football. And the thing I miss about football is when you show up for work, there's no excuses. You know, everyone, like the coach tells you what your job is, and then you go out there and execute. And then after work, after practice, you go back in and you watch the film and you see, how am I doing? So just this attitude of excellence, that there's no excuses. We just work towards excellence on a daily basis. I miss that. I mean, I have it within myself. I push myself that way. But, you know, in the football world, that's what everyone is there for. But I find in the regular world is almost the opposite, where people are always making excuses and pretending, you know, that they're not responsible for what's going on in their life. And so, you know, you talked about the law of karma. That's what I loved about football. It was real. Like the film doesn't lie, you know, the film doesn't. Did you do your job? Right. You can see it right there. And if you didn't, right, you have help to help you get better. And I just love that idea, because to me, that's life is the linebackers, you know, the bills, the issues, the people, they don't stop. Right. But your ability to meet all of them and do your job and handle them with dignity and respect, you keep growing and you keep learning, and life becomes worth it. You know, it becomes worth it.
You know, you were always a beautiful man, and you become a more beautiful of a man. And the reason I asked you if you have any inclination about football ever, football's changing. Football's changing across, you know, everywhere. I mean, it's they play in England, whatever, but it's changing in the United States. You know, when I was growing up, there were, 8 football teams for the town of North Bergen. Now there's like 4. You know, moms are not putting their children in. And even though we're getting extra helmets, we're getting better padding, the NFL's doing technology, whatever, I think that you would be a fucking tremendous coach to the youth.
Yeah.
I think that you would build a different type of football player. One
You're
that
right.
would be more complete, and one that would be in charge and in connection with his body. You know, like if you got him at 8 and 9 and coach him till 13, 14, then let him out into the world. The lesson you would give him, because you didn't read a fucking book. You were there in the trenches. You know, one of the best. You were there. But I'm sure that you could have been better if your mind.
100%.
And that's what I
100%.
would love to see. If I had an 8-year-old son, even if my wife said, no football, fuck you. He's going to Ricky Williams for whatever. Coach him for 2 years until he gets to 12, because he's going to be a different man going into football. You have enlightened yourself to a fucking degree that is beautiful. And it's not phony. It's not a wokeness like everybody's. No, it comes from your heart. I could feel it. I see it when you interviews, you know. So I think that you have a lot to offer young men, man. And I don't know how you felt about football, but you have the ability to change it.
I'm on the same page with you. I mean, the way it was didn't work out for me, but I learned so much and it helped me become who I am. So I feel like I do have a responsibility to give something back. And football is changing. And I've always thought, because football trained me to be the man that I am today. And I think it's a mistake to say that football is not a positive thing, because it teaches teamwork, it teaches toughness, it teaches how to take care of your body, it teaches how to take care of the person next to you. And I think if we cherish these values as using football to train young men to be leaders, not millionaires, you know, I think that's going to be more useful.
That's what happened. And that's what happened. It changed the game a lot with college and stuff. There's not, you know, I'm a Cuban kid. I never spoke English. So when I came to the United States, I watched everything I could. And I watched football. And it's changed. You know, I see and playing on the street and stuff like that. But I think we can make way better football players. I think football got away from itself. I mean, I was at the gym before, and I'm watching an ex-football player beat up a guy at Newark Airport. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
He clocked him in the head. The guy went over. But it's funny that, you know, when you play football, you're built to be rough and tough. I think in life there's places to be rough and tough. There's places to be gentle. There's places to be gentle and rough and tough together.
Amen.
And that's the new men that are coming up. You know, that's what's coming up, you know. So if you ever coach, man, I'd be your number one fucking advocate. Even if you just did Ricky Williams football summer camp, I'll be there to coach with you. I love camps. I love 5-star basketball camp. I went to Booze. I went to Joe Namath's football camp. Wow. I didn't even end up playing football. I went to offense-defense football camp in Pittsburgh. I saw Jack Lambert shaving and dipping his fucking razor in the toilet water as he was shitting. You know, you can't tell that. We got to shit. Now, Jack Lambert's mentality. Nobody could get through to a guy like that. You know, like if you went to Jack and said, listen, I think you should add Buddhist and reefer to your life, that motherfucker would take his teeth out. No, those were solid dudes, you know.
Yes. The world is changing. Yes.
The world is changing. Ricky Williams, you're a fucking master. And I love for what you did. And listen, you said something before that triggered me a little bit. You said that whatever happened with football. No, man. That was what you need. That's what needed to happen for you to get to where you are right now. To get
Amen to
mental
that.
clarity. You didn't fail. You didn't do nothing. It was just who you were then.
Yeah.
And this is who the motherfucker you are now. You can't put football down because it's a part of you. When I look at you, I see the man. I see you running at me and me just fucking fainting, you know.
Yeah, because it's probably gonna hurt. Yeah. Well, this was great. It was good connecting with you and really having like a heart to heart with another man. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I didn't want this to be. I didn't think it was either gonna be reefer or whatever. But I always had a bone to pick with you because you opened my eyes about the social anxiety. I didn't know what was going on. I looked it up and I read the article. This is 2 years ago. I read the article about the helmet. You didn't like taking the helmet off to make eye contact and stuff, and that's when you discovered it and blah, blah, blah. My heart goes out to you and your family. You're a fucking gentleman and a half. When I come to California, I'm coming to visit you in your office and shake your hand and give you a hug, and maybe we'll do a bong hit for Jesus together.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right, man? How strong is your reefer over there, that Highsmith?
It's strong. When we're above 30% all three strains.
Oh, shit. So we're seeing the devil.
Exactly.
We're seeing
Exactly.
Tom Landry and shit. And I'll tell you who else we got to come up on this. He's got a lot of knowledge for young players. I tried to talk to him on the phone. He was still a little Hollywood Henderson.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Hollywood. We connected
man.
when I was in Austin. Yeah.
He did. He hit the lottery twice or something.
I
Didn't
know. It's crazy.
He? That's a
Yeah.
bad motherfucker. I have his book. I still got his book, and I still have the original Playboy interview from 1980.
I
That is
remember.
the best interview I have ever read in my life, man. So,
Yeah.
hey, it was always a pleasure. Thank you. God bless you and your family, and I love you, man. What's the name of the recreational spot?
Heisman.
Heisman. I love you, brother. Stay black and beautiful. Uncle
I
Joey
sure will.
got you.
All right, Joey.
my brother.
Yeah.
Stay black. Bye. All right. I want to thank you, motherfuckers, for supporting this week. We had a great week. Chaz, myself, fucking Ricky, Mike, we're all here, man. It's Memorial Day on Monday. We will be doing a show. We'll see you guys Monday morning. Have a great fucking weekend, you know. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. And that's it, cocksucker. Smoke and drive, but use Visine and a lot of fucking Tic Tacs. That's all I got for you. Laughing gas forever. It's there. Stop in tomorrow, Thursday. Tell them Uncle Joey sent you at the ice cream shop. Pick up some fucking edibles. Pick up some fucking laughing gas. I don't know. It's fucking Memorial Day weekend. Stay black. And now for a word from our motherfucking sponsors, Jack. All right. I want to thank Ricky Williams, and most importantly, I want to thank you guys for having my back this week. We're trying, cocksuckers. We're trying to put something together. So keep coming by and visiting. Before we go, the joint is brought to you by Stamps.com. When you're running a small business, every second and every dollar counts. Why are you spending your day in the post office standing online smelling weird people when you could have Stamps.com instead? Make mailing and shipping quick, easy, and cost effective with Stamps.com. Like I told you in the beginning, I love Stamps.com. It's easy. We get everything out, and all you need is a regular computer and a printer. Bing, bang, boom. No special supplies or equipment. You'll be up and running in minutes, printing official postage for any letter, any package, any way you want to send, Jack. Stop wasting time and start saving money when you use Stamps.com. I don't care if you got a small business, a little business, you're shining shoes, and you want to send postcards, Stamps.com is the way to go. Sign up with code Joey for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code Joey. The joint is also brought to you by CBD Lion. When it comes to CBD, you don't see me fucking switching governments. I've been with them for like 3 or 4 years. It's fucking tremendous. They got me covered from A to Z. Cream, the hemp smoke, the kinesiology tape, the bat balls. I mean, it never ends with them. CBD gummies that are fucking tremendous. And Delta 9s that'll make you hear Chinese music the same way I fucking heard it one night. All right, go to CBDLion.com, press in code Joey, joint, church, and get 20% off your first order. That's it, and that's that. I love you motherfuckers with all my heart. I want to thank Stamps.com, the motherfucking freeze pipe, Manscaped, Liquid IV, all you motherfuckers for being here this week. Stay black, have a great week and a great Memorial weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning. Tip top Magoo, you fucking savages. Love you.